Okay, take two. Got exactly 20 minutes to get this done. Um, and it's very difficult for me to start these messages. Right, so this is about scanning the, my body, which is, I guess, what we would say is the inside of the fursuit. Oh, why isn't that picking my hands up? Should be picking up hands. There we go. Hello. Yeah, beans. Right. So it started a few weeks ago where I decided to search for body scanners, and turned out there was a whole outfit that does these. Let's see, make myself a little bit visible over there. It does these scans of your body where you sort of stand on it. Looks like a little Roomba, and it spins you around in front of this post, and then sort of gives you a report on all the diameters of your body. And I had a look on their website, and they sort of have like lots of installs all around town. And so I thought, well, first thing to do is email them and check if you can export like a triangulated mesh of your body from this thing. And if I could, I'd go to one of these gyms and go and ask them to stand on their thing and get the output. But they never replied to me because, well, it's a sales email. Why would they reply to it? Sort of same thing here. If you remember last week, there was the Kamamuta thing I talked about. I emailed them to ask them a couple of questions, and they haven't got back to me either. So I guess they don't want to have my input. So I was hunting around, and I started seeing these scanners like this sort of Creality ferret thing, which seemed to have a real special deal, and I nearly bought it. But then I remembered that there's this outfit down in town, which is, I guess you could call it kind of a technical art installation thingy, and they sort of do an art exhibit every 6 months or something, and they need to have lots of equipment and 3D scanners and things. And instead of just leaving it all lying around on their shelves gathering dust after they bought it and used it, they sort of set up a system where you can become a member of them, and they'll let you go and borrow their equipment. And they have a bunch of rooms for podcasting, big microphones like you get with podcasts. Not like, I think I'm just using the webcam microphone, which is why it sounds so terrible. You go down and, where was it? I thought there was some pictures here somewhere. Yeah, these pictures here. So we go back through, yeah, because I've already been through here already. When I did it the first time, there's me somewhere in the background, and the VR kit that basically only I use in the place. This is their workshop room, which has about 3D printers. It's quite noisy, bit of soldering and stuff. What other things do they have? Yeah, there's their big fancy 3D printer, which we might be talking about next week when I get further with this. So they had one of these things, this ferret scanner, and they also had this much more fancy Einstar portable scanner. They both basically did the same thing. You just sort of held them, and they shone an area, sort of a rectangle area of varying size, onto the object of your body, and you kind of attempted to paint with it. But that was actually quite difficult because you had to keep looking across on your screen to see if your painting was right. And the moment you sort of looked across your screen, your hand would kind of like drift a little bit and twist and start not pointing at the body you're supposed to, and it'd start complaining that it wasn't tracking, and it was a nightmare. So also the problem is there's lots of complicated proprietary software that always wants to have admin passwords to install, and because it's like a studio and these are like public computers, they don't give you the admin password. So every 2 minutes you have to go get a staff member to go and type in the admin password. So I gave up at this point and brought in my own gaming PC, plugged them both in and got them working, which also meant that I could carry on working quite late at night, which was kind of useful because I got a friend to help me with the scanning. And let's see if we get okay, we've got 4 minutes in. Let's see if we get the scanning, which was yeah, there we go. Blender. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to pause just a second. Right, here's the scan in pink, which was highly detailed, and I'm only showing you the back because it picks up every wrinkle in your clothes, even if you've decided to wear sort of skin tight clothing. So in the end, because it was an empty office, it was late at night, took off all my clothes except for the underpants, and we scanned all the wrinkles in my skin, and it was quite disturbing, especially around the front with the Y fronts. So I'm only showing you the back. Usefully, the blender lets you sculpt and smooth off all the nastiest wrinkles and then decimate it so it's nice and low poly, and so now it's not too unpresentable. In 1 second. Right, so we start with this horrible kind of worm thing, and we've got the full body of the freak hound, and he's looking quite a lot happier. He's now got a tail, some lovely digigrade legs. We're going to see whether there's a kind of a way to paper it over nicely so it actually looks nice enough. We've got all these nice complicated spikes and stuff, but you know, it looks much happier that way. See if we can line up the shoulders and stuff when it comes to designing it. I was doing this bit and showing it to my friends, and they're saying, going like, seriously, just work on the head, you know. Fun looking at this bit because it kind of makes me happy that something might happen. So this is the original head covering up the face, and if we peer in there a little bit, I don't know, you'll see that, well, actually, let's go to the half head, which was the actual thing. Now you'll notice that there's kind of a problem. Oh yeah, the half head. If you remember, what I had to do in the original head was the eyes were too far apart. So the half head, I sort of massaged the eye in a little bit so that my eye can actually see through it. And also we got this other interesting problem in that I have pretty bad posture. I've been sitting in my computer programming far too long, and I've got forward head posture, I realize, and people have always been complaining about this when they see me, and now it just looks terrible. So here's sort of what's going to happen is if we examine, I've got the option. Either what I do is I make this whole head. Oh, by the way, I've also rescaled the whole thing down by like 1.5% just to sort of fit my height, so I'm not standing too far off the floor if this thing ever gets built properly. Okay, so I can either like carve out the front, and so this guy is standing up nice and tall and straight and rigid, and inside I've got my awful posture like this, or I could do lots of exercises and arrange my posture so that if I was able to move my head back, if we do G and Y, okay, and I move my head back by about that far, all right, which is, you know, the recommendation is your ear is supposed to be across above the middle of your shoulders, but my older shoulders are kind of humped anyway. But if I was to move back about that far, it would, you know, and then my posture would actually match the fursuit, as opposed to being what I sort of considered the equivalent of digigrade, is that I've got a kind of like out of shape bent body, and the fursuit on the outside is all standing up tall and proud, versus I've got a kind of straight leg and the fursuit has got lovely crookedy legs on the outside. So there's something interesting about this, but I'm gonna try and improve my posture, I think, and start taking care of things. This kind of reminds me of when I took up hang gliding, and I had a hang gliding harness which was made to measure, and it was like, I'm not going to be able to get fat, otherwise I'll never be able to fit into this thing, and it's all going to be a waste because I only just fitted into it. It was like perfect